My 4th gen 2024 Toyota Tacoma is over a year old now, and I've put 15,000 miles on it, and I wanted to do another update. I recently received 2 recall notices, and I've done another oil analysis, and I also wanted to provide you guys with an update on my recent modifications. Let's start with the recalls. The first one is for certain 2024 and 2025 model year Tacomas that have 4-wheel drive and 17-inch wheels. The issue is a potential loss in brake performance, as Toyota calls it. So what is the issue? Well, Toyota says that debris and mud can actually build up inside the wheel wells and potentially break. So this can result in a brake fluid leak and reduce the braking ability and potentially increasing your risk of a crash. What are they going to do to fix it? Well, at the time of this recording, there actually isn't a fix right now. Toyota is working on getting all the parts and the instructions for the dealers on how to actually make the repairs. And what I received in the mail was actually just a notification of the issue. And so as soon as there is a fix, I'm sure I'll get another letter in the mail letting me know that they actually have a remedy. Now you're probably asking yourself, what should you do in the meantime since there isn't a fix right now? Toyota says don't go off-road, and well, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to take their second recommendation, which is to actually just clean off the wheel wells and the brake lines behind the tires here, because it can get built up, and so you just want to make sure that you clear that off and potentially just remove the issue. And so that's what I'm going to do. And of course, when the repairs are available, Toyota will do it for free. Now moving on to the second recall that I received. This one says it's for certain 2024 model year Tacomas, both non-hybrid and hybrid. Now mine is the non-hybrid version. The issue is with the blind spot monitoring system, and it actually needs to be reprogrammed. Toyota says that trucks that are equipped with a trailer blind spot monitoring system may not be able to detect the extended area for trailers under certain operating conditions as described in the owner's manual. So this is a little bit vague, and I had to do some digging in the owner's manual, and I found out that when you're towing a trailer, it'll actually take into account how long the trailer is, and it'll actually give you an additional buffer of blind spot monitoring past the trailer. And so that's what this is going to do. It's going to reprogram that because apparently there's a bug in it, and it may not be calculating the distance for the blind spot monitoring correctly. So this recall is ready to go right now. You can take it into your dealer and actually have them reprogram that. I've seen on the forums it takes probably 1 to 2 hours depending on your dealership and how busy they are. So not a big deal. You shouldn't notice really anything. And I've actually told several times, and I haven't even noticed a difference in the blind spot monitoring. So it's not like a really big deal if you wait to do it. So just keep that in mind, but there is a fix ready to go. Now, a separate issue that I've seen guys report on the forums is that when they tow a trailer and they disconnect it, the truck still thinks that there's a trailer attached to it, and they get an error message called trailer driving assist still active. Toyota has issued a TSB for this, and you can just take it in to your dealership and they have a remedy to fix that. Now, it's not a recall because there's no safety concerns associated with that, and so they issue what's called a TSB, but you can go in and get that fixed as well. Now let's cover the oil analysis report. I've done this oil analysis every time that I've got an oil change. So I've done that 3 times now. And the reason I'm doing that is to see if there's any trends over time that tells me whether or not the engine is healthy or not. Now these last 5,000 miles have not been easy. I went up to Idaho to pick up a 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee Trailhawk with a 5.7 liter Hemi V8 that I purchased at an auto auction. My plan is to try and see if I can sell it and make a little money on it. I'll be doing a video on that as well, so please subscribe if you guys are interested in checking out that. But anyway, my point here is that these 5,000 miles were not easy. I was maxed out on towing. It was 6,500 pounds with the trailer and the Jeep on the back, and it was over 800 miles. So the truck definitely got to work out in these 5,000 miles. And I gotta say, the truck performed phenomenally towing 6,500 pounds through the mountains. I mean, I was just shocked and pleased at how well it did. Now I'll go ahead and put this up on the screen here, and I'll quickly just kind of describe what this oil report is if you haven't seen my other videos. But on the left here, we have in elements of parts per million. So this is what's actually in the oil. So there's different elements that are in there. Down here we have the properties and the physical condition of the oil. And then on the right here, we have what is the universal averages. So This is the averages for this engine across all the samples. So this is kind of like a benchmark on the oil analysis, and you can compare this benchmark to where your sample's at. And then these columns here, this first one represents when I did my first oil change. I did that one at 6,000 miles. My second one I did at 10,000 miles, and then this one is at 14,500 miles. So looking at this column here, this was the very first oil change that I did, and because this was the first one, it's going to be higher in a lot of the different elements just because the engine is fresh. It's going to kind of flush out all of the new manufacturing processes. It's going to get worked in a little bit, and so to see a little bit of the higher elements, that's okay. I was high in aluminum, iron, copper, and silicon. Now the second one that I did, you can see aluminum went down to 9. Iron also went down to 10. Copper was down to 11, still a little bit high. And then silicon went way down to 56. And now taking a look at this last oil change that I did, you can see that I am not high in anything now. So aluminum is at a 5, iron's down to an 8, copper's at a 4, and silicon's at 25. So this is definitely within the range of a healthy engine. Now, something that's really important is to look at the viscosity. So mine is showing 48.4, and to be within spec, they give you a range here is 46 to 57. And so you can see that I'm right on the cusp of just being within spec. So what this is telling us is how much life the oil actually has. And you can see that it really didn't have that much more to give. So my recommendation, guys, is do not go more than 5,000 miles on 0W20 oil in the 4th gen Toyota Tacoma. It just doesn't last that long. So I've done 3 of these now, and every time this viscosity just is barely within spec. So don't go 10,000 miles. And then down here, they didn't find any antifreeze, water. The insolubles were good. That means that the filter is actually doing its job. So overall, it's a clean bill of health. So now I just like to read the comments from the technician at Blackstone. He says, another oil change, another round of decreases for your Tacoma's engine. Copper and silicon have fallen into average ranges, and aluminum and iron have also decreased a bit more. It looks like most, if not all, of the extra metal and silicon from break-in is out of the system. So we'll just look for these elements to the levels going forward. We weren't finding coolant or excessive fuel dilution in this sample. The viscosity is on the mark for 0W20. Insolubles read at only a trace level, showing that the oil filter worked very well to keep excess solids out of the oil. Very nice report. So in my summary, this report is essentially saying that the engine is healthy and don't go more than 5,000 miles between your oil changes. Now I want to provide you with an update on my recent modification. So if you didn't see my last video, I recently put on some 34-inch tires with some Icon Holst double black wheels, and I paired that with the Icon Stage 2 suspension lift, and it has the billet aluminum upper control arms. Now the tires are Toyo Open Country AT3s. The size is 285/75/17s. And guys, just altogether, the package is just really enjoyable so far. So the suspension is quite a bit softer than the stock. I noticed in the stock suspension, if I hit a bump, it was just kind of an instant jolt and a shock. This seems like it soaks up the bumps a little bit better, which I'm enjoying. I was concerned that the Toyo Open Countries were going to be a little bit noisy. Now these are all terrains and they're not mud terrains, so mud terrains are going to be quite a bit more noisy on the road. But these have been really quiet. I just did another road trip, about 500 miles, and I had the whole family in the car. We could talk. I didn't feel like it was annoying. My wife even commented that she hardly even noticed the road noise. So that's definitely worth something and tells you just how good these tires actually are. Now let me tell you one of the drawbacks that I've experienced. Now, doing larger wheels and tires, especially on the 4th gen Toyota Tacoma, you're going to be experiencing some rock trips, especially right here. So because these have a +25 offset, the wheels stick out a little bit more, and on the front here they stick out, and so rocks will flip up and actually kind of hit right here. So this is the attack zone right here, and Toyota has put a little PFP protection on here, but you can see it's just not enough. So I'm just gonna have to find a solution for that. Now, some of you may be wondering if I've experienced any vibrations. That seems to be like a common problem with the 4th-gen Toyota Tacomas. When you lift them, it seems like there's a lot of vibrations in the wheel and that you need to replace the needle bearing. So I have not experienced that yet. Maybe in the future I will, but as of right now, I haven't seen that. Now, the only thing that I've had to do since then was to get another alignment. After the truck had a little bit time to settle, it seemed like it was just pulling a little bit to the right. I went back to M&M Automotive. That's where I got the initial modifications done, and they gave me a complimentary alignment, and they torqued everything down again, made sure that everything was buttoned up. So shout out to those guys. If you're in the Utah area and you want to get your truck customized, be sure to check them out. So there you have it, guys. There's the 15,000 mile update. I'll continue to do these updates as I put more miles on it, but so far I am absolutely loving the truck. I love the modifications. I love the way it turned out. The performance on this truck is so good, guys. It's just a blast to drive, and I would buy it again 100% every time. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this video was informational for you. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.